Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the host for the Webtalk Legends Podcast. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. This is live right now on YouTube and also on Facebook, my personal page. But the personal page we're only going to have for a short term. So you want to make sure you jump over to the Webtalk Legends Podcast. Check out YouTube Webtalk Legends, and you'll see our YouTube channel. You'll see that we're live. Subscribe, hit that bell. We want to make sure that you understand the housekeeping rules. Drop as many comments as you want in the in the video. At least give us a hashtag live on the replay, hashtag replay, and where are you watching us from? We would love to hear where our reach is going, how far out in this world we're touching live. So let me bring on my next guest, number 56 episode, which is crazy. We started this last January. So I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. Let's get our guest on, JT Hazelet. What's going on, man?
Hey, Shawn. How are you? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking some time out to share your story with us, and I appreciate I know you're a family man, and I taking some time away, and this is I appreciate. So thanks again.
And, not a problem. I got the kids to bed, so we're all good now.
Man, getting the kids, people don't realize how important and how hard that could be at the same time. Like for me, I have 3 of them at home with me now. I have another one. I have 4 total. I have 4 freaking kids now. 3 wow. I have in 4, 2, and a 5 month, almost 5 months old.
That's amazing.
So coordinating them to go to sleep is like, so
that's an art form. I have one, and I feel like even getting the one to go to bed at the same time every single day is an art form. Having 4, scheduling that to go to bed, I can't even imagine that. I commend you, man. Like all hell.
it takes. My wife is wonderful. We have a good team. We tag team. I actually have one of my 4-year-old. We let her stay up a little bit later, so she's up. She's watching whatever with her mom. Yeah. So that we can do what we're doing. So as we're getting started, guys, those who are watching, don't forget hashtag live. Where are you watching from? We already have watching from Australia popping in here. And that's Scott Gerard. Fantastic for joining us. Hey, JT, can you give us an intro of who you are and what you do?
Well, we already know my name is JT Hazelet, but I am a real estate professional with Hazelet Realty Group, which is my family's brokerage. My dad started Hazelet Realty Group about 2 years during COVID, and right at the same time, I decided to get my license and join the family business.
It's fantastic, man. It's a business that you're an entrepreneur. You are one that has to, wake up every day having that why, as you know, you have your son. That's why you get up every day. But Absolutely. You have to always keep pushing forward because you have no paycheck guaranteed, right?
No, and I like that because you get what you're worth. You know what I mean? So I know every day if I want to go make money, I can go and do that. You know what I mean? So I like that because it gives me a challenge and it makes me, like you said, get up and remember my reason why and continue to push every single day, No,
it's fantastic. And you have the passion, man. You have the fire. Yes, you're younger, but you also have that fire. You know what you want. You're always doing many things. I see you on social media. You're doing different events.
Thank you.
I know your son's driving you, but what other things like before real estate were you involved in that helped you today?
I would really say my sports background. You could see my logo, or our logo is the baseball plate. We're a big baseball family. So I grew up playing baseball since pretty much before I could walk. I had a baseball in my hand. And I would really say, just growing up, learning, I had to set goals for myself at the beginning of the season, either my personal goals on what I wanted to accomplish for the season, and then at the same time sitting down with my team and saying, what do we as a team want to accomplish this season? What tournaments do we want to go take? And, do we want to go win a championship? What do we have to do to go win that championship? And those things, really, that just translates 100% now into business where I have to sit down with myself and say, okay, what are now things I want to accomplish? What are things as a company as a Hazelet Realty Group company we want to accomplish and things like that? It's really exactly the same, honestly.
I like what you said. I'm a baseball guy myself, and I believe sports is a huge thing, a huge player in entrepreneurs and business people because it
Absolutely.
helps you. You said something about goals. You know,
Yeah.
the goals is something for you to shoot for your team to shoot for you to shoot for now in business. What are some of the goals that you have right now that let's manifest some things for you?
Oh yeah. Well, my big goals, I guess, are um, personally, I want to really get more into real estate investing on a personal side. I know I help my customers do investing, so it would be nice to get involved with it personally. Um, so I guess for my one of my goals for this year is to buy my first personal, investment property. That's a goal I'm working on for this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times having something to shoot for, you're driving you, besides your kids, it's something that
Absolutely.
will allow you to, take those extra steps, take those, oh, I don't want to do this, but you think
Yeah.
about it, you're like, I'm going to do it because I
Yeah.
need to make sure I keep moving toward that goal of mine.
Absolutely. And realistically, how I kind of set my goals is I try to get away from the specific thing that I want, and I try to make it to where who the person I have to be able to get the thing that I want. So when I talk to myself and I actually write down my goals every single day, that's just one of the things I do to help, affirm it to myself. Is
Yes.
I write down instead of saying, I one of my goals is for 2023 is I bought a purchase rental property. I am somebody who purchased a rental property, because then now as I move forward, it's like, okay, I know I have to go to work and I know I have to save this money so I can go and allocate it to a rental property. And then as things come up, I could be like, I could really spend this money somewhere else, or I could really just enjoy the day off today. But then it's like, you know what? No, you got to go to work. You got to save this paycheck. You got to do these things because you want to set yourself up for financial freedom later.
Writing them down, having those affirmations. Yes. And it's
Yeah.
you and your future self
Yeah.
that you are. And that if you're reading these every day, it's going to
Yeah.
manifest. It's going to happen because you're going to put yourself in a position to be successful. So
Absolutely.
I applaud you for doing that. And
Thank you.
is that something let's talk about your daily habits in the morning. Are you a morning or a evening or a night owl?
I would like to say I'm definitely not a morning person, but I wake up early because I feel like I have to for myself, because of, I have my son. So if I wake up at the same time as him, I feel like I don't get anything accomplished in the morning because I'm just rushing around, really just focusing on being a dad at that time. But I take for myself, I wake up probably around 5 o'clock and I take the first 2 hours of my day to just set my day up for myself. And then pretty much right at that time is when my son wakes up and I get to flow into the rest of it. You know what I mean? But the morning time, that's when I write all my affirmations down. That's when I write my goals down. That's when I set my day up, all of those things. So that way, right as soon as I drop off at daycare, I could hit the office and get right into the day.
So you're not reacting, you're being more proactive.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah. I
that's
call it
something that,
pre-disastering.
what is it? Pre-disastering. I like that.
Pre-disastering. Yeah. So it's, if I wait until I get to the office, I'm going to get to the office and 10 things are going to pop up all at the same time and it's going to be chaos. You know what I mean? But if I can set myself up to where before I even get to the office, I know I'm done with half the things that I would need to get done right away, I don't have to worry about it.
A lot of people get up early, like you said, to get things done before others are even up, so you can
Yeah,
accomplish some things and keep that momentum going
absolutely.
throughout your day. And that's
Plus, not being a morning person, waking up a little bit extra gives me that extra go time, to get the juices flowing and get the extra cup of coffee in me before I get into the office to make sure really hit the ground running.
so if you're into affirmations, you must be focused a little bit on mindset.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Can
feel like that's a big one for me.
can you talk about what are some things that are you reading about different things to help take application on that? Are you listening? Are you going to podcasts? What are some ways that you're
Oh yeah. I'm a big I'm big on the content that I take in. So I do absorb a lot of content. I do create a lot of content too, but I absorb it. I just make sure that the content I create is productive and not just silly dance videos. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of the books that I've been reading, the one is Atomic Habits. That book was honestly life changing, not just career changing. And then the one I'm actually reading it for the second time now is How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That book absolutely changed the way that I approach every conversation that I have with somebody now.
Now, do you have time to read? Is it a physical book? Is it an audio book? And do you have a kid? How do you have time to read?
I do that in the morning. That's part of the 2 hours I take in the morning. So for myself, I block out a half hour, and I make sure that I do that every single day in the morning for 30 minutes. Because again, you're going to be a product of the content that you consume. So I try to make sure that I'm consuming 30 minutes of productive content at least, for the day.
And you're pushing out content, like you were saying, on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
What are I think there was some things you've been down a path as far as first-time home buyers. What are some tips that you can give those that are watching if they've never thought about, like, they've been renting for many, many years? And if you're a renter, drop a comment. If you are a homeowner, drop a homeowner, do a little house emoji. I would love to know who's a renter, who's a homeowner. But how can we help those that are first-time home buyers out there?
Well, right now, there's a great program, and depending on where you're from, we're in New Jersey. So specifically speaking for New Jersey, there's actually some first-time home buyer programs. And I know a lot of first-time home buyers like to say, I want to rent or I want to not buy because I can't necessarily afford the down payment and the closing costs and all that, which I totally understand. That's a pretty penny, even 3.5%. That could add up to be $10,000 to $15,000 pretty quickly, right? But New Jersey actually has a down payment assistance program where they'll give you a forgivable loan of up to $15,000 to help you cover your down payment and or closing costs. But most of the time, that's going to just be your down payment.
Right.
So I think that's a big one because one, it's a forgivable loan. After 5 years, it's gone. You don't have to pay it back, and that's going to be most of the money that it costs to get into your house. You know what I mean?
And it's better you're building equity. And the difference between having equity and not, put it this way, I was able, when I bought this is my third house I've had, but you can use the equity. And if you have credit cards, if you have things that you want to do, home improvements, you can draw equity out on a refinance or a home equity. And you can't do that if you're renting. You're paying the same amount. And what is rent right now? I saw some crazy numbers recently.
Rent right now is absolutely insane. Like our market in general right now is on the up, I'll say, because we have inventory is very limited. In Bricktown specifically, this morning there were 73 single family homes available. In all of Ocean County, there's 730 single family homes available as of this morning. That's absurd. Typically, at a time in the spring, there's about 2,000 single-family homes available, and we're at 730. And that's not just the purchase side of it. Rentals that feels the same. Rentals, there's just as a limited amount of inventory, so you can't even get into a 2-bedroom condo for less than $2,200 a month.
Which is insane. Like,
you used to be able to get a 3-bedroom house for $2,200 a month. Now you're getting a 2-bedroom condo for $2,200.
Right. So it's definitely something that saving some money, using a grant, a forgivable loan type of product. It would definitely, if you're thinking about renting, then owning, I gotta go try to get to that owning as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I always say you're building up equity. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, never.
Either way, even when you rent or when you have a mortgage, you're paying a mortgage either way. You're either paying your own mortgage or you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Might as well put it into your own pocket, right? And be able to use the equity for yourself because they're building equity for somebody either way too. It's just, again, you're going to build it for yourself or you're going to build it for somebody else.
Definitely. That's good value right there for those thinking about buying. Definitely an opportunity. And I want to go back to baseball. If you had the chance right now, I'd like to bring in music into our conversation. Yeah. If you had a, walk out to the home plate, that next at bat, what music's being played for you?
Honestly, I was a big Derek Jeter fan, and his walkout song for a long time was "New York" by Jay-Z and Beyonce. So I'd probably take the "New York" by Jay-Z and Beyonce just to copy off my idol.
What do you like about Derek Jeter? 'Cause I definitely have to agree with you. I'm a Yankee fan as well, and
Yeah.
I grew up with him, and he's definitely someone an idol as well. And what do you like about him most?
Just his leadership and just the way that he carries himself. You never heard, even on the things off the field, you never heard anything bad about him. You never heard, I don't think anybody ever say anything bad about him. And just the way that he was always the guy that his teammates looked to, and he was always the one that when a teammate was struggling, went over, patted them on the backside and was like, "Hey, man, we're going to be all right. We got this." That's, somebody as a baseball player, I was wanted to be like, and again, now in business and being an entrepreneur and doing things like what we do and providing value and making content that provides value. It's basically the same thing in some sense of the word.
Oh yeah, are you into? Is that your genre, the Jay-Z type genre? Do you have a genre that you're into as far as for your music?
I would say that my friends call me ADDJ because you can listen to anything on my playlist. You go from country music to classic rock to hip hop and stuff like that. I get a little bit of everything.
I like that, man. That's why I
Yeah,
think we definitely jive a lot. That's why I like talking to you because we have
absolutely.
some likability there. Country music, it's
Yeah,
something that I went to school down in North Carolina, and they always called me Jersey,
yep.
and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get into country music," and I was like, "No, man, I like 97.1, um, Z100, 103.5 back in the day, and all this." They're like, "No, you're gonna like country music," and I'm like, "Get out of here today." And I
It
told
grows
my
on you.
roommate it's my most favorite. I put
Yeah,
that on at any time. I like the you know Zach Brown band.
yeah.
Who's the guitarist? Uh,
I'm a Morgan Stanley fan, but
Morgan Stanley. I mean, they're. I
yeah,
like going
there's
to
a
the because
bunch of
it's
them. Yeah.
music. It's
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
music.
Have you ever been to a country concert?
Oh yes, man.
Oh,
It's
nothing better than a good time at a country concert. Everybody's there, everybody's got a beer in their hand, just having a good time. Everybody's buddies. Doesn't matter if you've never met the person or not, they're your best friend. It's just good times all around.
it's good, wholesome, positive type of
Yeah,
music that it allows you to let go for a period of time. And going to those concerts, it's more laid back. It's not
absolutely.
like not many that the ones I went to, no fights, happening.
Mm-mm.
Just very good stuff that get you in a good mood. And I think that's a good thing to be listening to if you're out on the road and not going to cause any
No
road
road
rage.
rage accidents, nothing like that, right? Especially being in Jersey, we got enough of that.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And it's something that music for me, like I said, is going to Alexa. Hey, put music, country music on. Boom, I get to sit there and listen, and it allows me
Oh
to
yeah.
get away from whatever's going on. It's just a good stress reliever, right?
Oh yeah, I'm the big. I always on Alexa, even when I'm cooking something like that. I'm not a very good cook, and I'm a worse dancer and a worse singer. So, when I'm cooking, it's a good time because I'm in there, chopping up, dancing, and singing along to whatever songs I got going off Alexa.
So you're not a good cook. Do you go out to dinner a lot, or you microwave things?
I think it's a good balance. I'm trying to learn to cook. I like to budget. I'm trying to budget a little bit. Like I said, I want to buy an investment property, so I'm trying to eat out a little bit less, cook for myself a little bit more. It's just a little bit of a pain because I'm not a good cook.
It's all it is. Honestly, I've learned just try.
I think I stick too hard to the recipe. I think I try to follow the recipe too much. I got to cook with my soul a little bit more, I think.
that you hit it right there. I think it's just putting it out there, trying it, and
Yeah.
hey, if it gets really bad, you just order out that night.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it might be a phenomenal meal. Like I love cooking fish. I like
Yeah.
cooking, steaks. I like grilling, things like that.
I could work
Grilling,
the grill.
I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
What's a favorite on the grill?
Oh, just give me a steak or a good old cheeseburger.
And you can't mess them up too
Can't
much,
mess them up. That's what I'm saying. Just 6 minutes on each side, and then I'm done.
No, it's definitely something that it takes, like you said, a recipe you follow, but you
Right.
also can get away from it a little bit, add a couple twists and turns when
Yeah.
you get used to doing it, but not being afraid, just trying it. Like I try to do it with my kids too. I'm like, let's cook some breakfast this morning
Oh
in the
yeah.
morning, and they'll do it with me, and at least it's an experience, that they can take away.
Absolutely. We have French Toast Fridays where we make homemade French toast, and honestly, it's one of my favorite days of the week. I can make some French toast. That's pretty easy. But just doing it with my son Lucas, that's the best part of it because he wakes up first thing in the morning, he runs into my room, gets me up, and he's like, Dad, we got French Toast Friday today. Let's get down to the kitchen. Let's go.
It gets them fired up. It's a tradition that you're
Absolutely.
setting up for the future.
Yeah, and it gives them something to look forward to every week.
No, it's
It's nice.
definitely, you're mentoring your son.
Yeah.
Everything we do, they're watching,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's something that if you are, I know you are in the moment with your son as well. It's not like I mean, I'm sure you have those days you have the call comes in, like,
Yeah.
listen, I need to take this, but you're more of that dad that is
Yeah.
in the moment. You're having fun, and is your dad that way, or did you learn from
Yeah.
your dad? How did that work?
Oh, my dad is my mentor in every sense of the word, honestly. Absolutely. So, and throughout my entire life, like my dad's been a real estate agent for the last, like I would say 10, 11 years. And he never missed anything. Like even through like all my baseball games, like he made it a point to make every one. And he would schedule it out. And now that I'm an agent, he told me what he would do. He would just tell his clients, "Hey, I have a meeting from 3 and 5 o'clock," and then just not tell his clients that the meeting was my varsity baseball game. And just making it a point to, yes, I'm busy. Yes, I have to go to work. Yes, I'm doing all these things, but I'm still there for you. I'm still here for you. I'm still showing you the things you need to do to be a man and take care of your family, and still be there for your family all at the same time.
I want people to understand what JT just said as far as scheduling time for you or
Yeah.
family. Maybe you have a workout you want to get in. Maybe you want to have a kid's baseball game to go to. Maybe you have your wife or your husband that you have a date you want to
Absolutely.
schedule. You schedule that in there,
You
and
have to.
it's going to happen. You're going to
Yeah.
be fine. I like using Are you using Calendly at all?
Oh, yeah, I use Calendar and I use Google Calendar too. Google Calendar is nice because I have it synced up to, my
Yes.
fiance's phone, my phone, and things like that. So it's easy if we have doctor's appointments and other things to just throw it right in there and it syncs right up to everybody.
So everyone knows what's going on, and you're
Yeah.
on target. And that's a great tip as far as making sure that if you don't want to miss things, or you say, "Oh, I can't," you can. We're not all doctors. I say I'm the insurance doctor, but that's my marketing. It's
Yeah.
all about putting time for your family. I work, and I'm sure you're the same way. We
Yeah.
work to have a life. I don't live to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I work so that one day I don't have to. That's why I work so hard now. So one day I could stop working. But at the same time, even now, I can't just only work. There has to be some type of balance, especially when your kids are young. They're only young once. My
Yes.
son's 5. You know what I mean? So right now it's like prime time. There's nothing I want to miss right now. He's really coming into himself, and you said it before. Your kids copy everything that you do, and they're 100% a version of you. So I have to make sure every day, and again, you have to make sure that every day you're the best version of yourself, not just for yourself, but also for your kids too.
They are watching for
Yeah,
every day. It's something,
and
but
they're sponges too, so they pick up
they'll
everything.
remember everything. They absorb everything.
Yeah,
And to have the energy to keep up with a young child, you're focused on your health. I'm sure a baseball guy.
yeah.
What are you doing now for your health for the future?
Well, I actually have type 1 diabetes, and I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 18 months old. So it's been something that I've dealt with my entire life. So really with that, it's made me stay up on my health just because with diabetes, you have to stay up on everything because it
Yes.
affects everything. So I would say I just like I schedule time to make sure that I can go out on a date night or, go out to the park and things like that. And my son's now starting baseball. He's in T-ball now. So to make sure I can make practices and things like that, I schedule my doctor's appointments just the same. I make sure that in the morning, I do like a little workout. And when I say a little workout, I do some push-ups, crunches, and some stretches to make sure I get my body going. But even with that, that's just to make sure that I am not completely out of shape, you know.
So for those that are watching, I'm a health teacher as well, so I know the diabetes, the type 1, you have the insulin dependency. So you have to make
Yeah.
sure you have to, is it you prick your finger or do you have a different device now?
I actually have a pump now. For the longest time I pricked my finger and I did like the old school, like, you know, the insulin injections, the things like that. But within the last year, got myself a pump and then what's called the continuous glucose monitor, CGM, which just tells me in live time what my blood sugar is. And then with the pump will adjust automatically if I need more insulin, if I need less insulin. So that honestly has made life a lot easier. I call it my electric pancreas, honestly. It's my pocket pancreas because I always have it on my hip.
Right.
But which is funny, but it's cool. It's nice now because like you were saying with the finger pricks, it's hard, especially being a kid, stopping baseball or stopping what you're doing to make sure you check your sugar, prick the blood, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" Now it's just super easy and convenient. I just have to look down. It's like checking my phone or like looking at a beeper.
No, the technology today, man, for our health, for business it's amazing.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you're able to, have a handle on it. You're able to, have more control
Yeah.
with the pump now. That's fantastic. I appreciate you sharing because
Thank
those
you,
that are
man.
watching, man, we never know. If you don't ask,
Yeah.
you don't find out. You don't know
Absolutely.
what's going on, and that's something that is important. That's value that
Yeah.
people, learn about other people on what their health issues they might have.
Absolutely. You never know, honestly. Make sure you go to the doctor. That's one of the most valuable tips that anybody can give you is to make sure you go to the doctor because if you're not going to take care of your health, the health is going to take care of you eventually, you know?
No, it's definitely something that I'm very into. I want to make sure that I am that grandpa that is still active, it's still
Yeah.
healthy. That's why it drives me. That's another why for me, my future, because I want to be there. I want to be that. I don't, oh, my back's hurting or this and that.
Yeah.
Grandpa's this, dad's that. I don't want that. I want to make sure, damn, that's your dad or that's your grandpa. Like,
Yeah.
that's
It's
what
like
I want to
grandpa
have.
still got it. Wow, look
Yeah.
at that.
That's what drives me. It's like something that I
Absolutely.
want to make sure people, keep their health in check. It's so important. I want to find out what are some tips because we are a lot of people that are tuning in right now and on the replay.
Yeah.
We're on social media. How important is social media and video for you?
Man, for me, it's immeasurable. Honestly, it's my biggest marketing tool besides going out to marketing events and meeting people in person. And honestly, I'm thankful because I come from a little bit of a marketing background before I got into real estate. I worked at a marketing company that worked with a lot of other small businesses and real estate agents. So I learned a lot of the back end things of like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok was in its like birth when I was in the
Mhm.
marketing. So I was lucky because I got to learn a lot about TikTok and the benefits of TikTok business from its inception. And now I see it as, again, immeasurable because of the SEO values that it provides. And for those that aren't familiar with SEO, that's the rankings on Google. Is anytime you type up my name, the first thing that you're going to see 90% of the time is my TikTok page. And that's because I post on the TikTok page pretty much every day. And on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram combined, and this is why I post on TikTok every single day, there's over 2.5 billion daily users. And each person spends on average 2 hours on either Facebook or Instagram. So if 2.5 billion people are spending 2 hours in two places, I'm going to be on those two places as often as I can. You know what I mean? Even if those people, they're scattered all over the place and I work in one specific state, but majority of the people are in one specific area. That's where their attention is. And the content needs to be filled because people consume content all day long, nonstop, especially in our world today.
It is important. It is something that, yes, like you said, you could have someone that in a different part of the world that might listen to this and they might have someone coming to New Jersey and boom, they have a connection.
We have Australia in here right now, right?
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
We have New Zealand. We have a variety of people that pop Florida. We have a lot of people that are popping in that can benefit, and listening
Absolutely.
to what we're talking about, taking it in, absorbing, and then actually action taking, they're implementing some of the things we talk about. Now
Absolutely.
we're coming to the end, JT. Is there any final thoughts you can give those that are watching today and those on the replay?
I guess the final thought today would just be a little bit of the, I guess, highlights that we were making today, which is to continue to provide value. And whether that's going to be for us to continue to provide value or for each of the people continuing to provide value for other people. The more value you can provide, the more value that's going to come back to you. It's like the old saying, what you put out is always going to come back, or what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
Keep putting out that value and it's going to keep coming back.
You might like that Zig Ziglar, if I could help everyone get what they want out of life, they're going to all help me get everything that I want out of life.
Absolutely.
And it's a powerful, powerful way of
That is an absolutely
mindset,
powerful statement. Absolutely.
But I want to thank you, JT. We had Legends Projects. It's great stuff. We appreciate everyone tuning in right now. If you're just tuning in, wait till this uploads and get the whole episode. Replay it. And I know there's massive value. If you use any of the things we're talking about today, drop a comment. We would love to know what's working for you as well, because it worked for us. And JT, thanks so much for joining us today.
Shawn, thank you so much for having me. Guys, thanks you for everybody. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
Have an awesome